Hey everyone, welcome to Judging for the Win. I'm Dave, and this is my daily ruling. Amy plays a Venerated Rotpriest, and then she plays a Ground Drift targeting it. She says that for the Storm copy, she wants that to target her Grizzly Bears. How many times in total does Venerated Rotpriest's ability trigger? Okay, so I think it should be pretty uncontroversial for me to say that the original Ground Drift is going to generate one Rotpriest trigger, from the Rotpriest itself becoming the target of that spell. Of course, the more interesting situation is going to come from the Storm copy. So first of all, yes, a copy of a spell does indeed count as a spell itself. And second of all, when you copy a spell, you're also copying all of the decisions that happened when you were originally casting that spell, including the choice of target. This is why pretty much everything that copies a spell allows you to choose new targets for that copy, because a lot of the time it wouldn't really make sense to copy a spell and have that copy target the same thing that you originally played the spell on. Now, the other thing that I wanted to point out about this situation is that the Venerated Rotpriest's ability looks for something to become the target of a spell. Even though these spells were not cast, there certainly was a point in time before they existed where the thing that they were targeting was not targeted by that spell, and then after they were created, then the thing that they target is the target of that spell. So that would indeed constitute an instance of a creature that Amy controls becoming the target of a spell. And so Venerated Rotpriest will indeed trigger off of the Storm copies being created. Now, if we take a close look at exactly what's going on here, then you might be tempted to think that that should mean that we would get two triggers off of the copy. One from when it gets created, targeting the Venerated Rotpriest, and another from when we change the target from the Rotpriest to the Grizzly Bears. Unfortunately, this is where the fun police are going to step in. See, it turns out that the comprehensive rules have a specific procedure defined for an instruction that says to copy a spell and choose new targets for that copy. And unfortunately for us, that procedure does not work the way that we naively assumed it would when I was going over what we thought might happen originally. As you can see, it turns out that that procedure actually involves creating the spell with the target that's the new target already set. And so that means there was never a point in time at which the Storm copy targeted the Venerated Rotpriest. Rather, when the Storm copy was created on the stack, it started out as targeting the Grizzly Bears, because that's what Amy said that she wanted the new target to be. So that would mean that we would only be getting one trigger of the Venerated Rotpriest ability off of the Storm copy also. So that's the answer to our original question. We would get a total of two Venerated Rotpriest triggers, one from the original Ground Drift and one from the Storm copy. In case you're wondering, this situation would have the exact same ruling and the exact same reasoning as if, for example, you wanted to play a pump spell on Venerated Rotpriest and use a twin cast on that pump spell to copy it, except change the target to your Grizzly Bears. The copy of your pump spell never targeted the Venerated Rotpriest, so the Venerated Rotpriest never became the target of that copy, so you would not get a trigger from that. You would only get the trigger from the copy being created and targeting the new creature that you're targeting. If you did want to have a variation of this trick work, you would probably want to take a look at something like Spellskite. If you use Spellskite's ability to change the target of a spell from one of your other creatures to Spellskite, well, guess what? Immediately before that ability resolved, then the target of that spell was something else. And then immediately after that ability resolved, the Spellskite was the target of that spell. So we do indeed have a situation where Spellskite became the target of that spell, as required by the trigger condition on Venerated Rotpriest. I talked a whole lot more about this interaction and how this sort of thing would play out in my video where I talked about how Spellskite interacts with the ward mechanic. So I definitely recommend you give that video a watch if you're interested in a little bit more detail about how it would apply to this case. But that's all I have for you today. How did you do? Join me again next time for another daily ruling, but until then, I hope you have a great day.